We'll add some more heat and it should come off in a couple seconds. I'm not gonna lie guys, it's really hard to get this display off without breaking it. It's so thin. Okay, we're about to see what the brand new iPhone 15 Pro Max looks like on the inside. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Open it up. Okay, interesting. It's as beautiful as ever. Very different from what I'm used to, that's for sure. So we have our massive front speaker, our front camera assembly with our Face ID modules, the very large back cameras this year. That's 1, 2, 3. Our motherboard over here. There is no A17 sticker this year. We have our Taptic engine with little tiny metal things. I'm not really sure what those are called. The same thing with the loudspeaker. Of course, we have our USB-C port and we have our battery. That was intense. It's time to do it all over again with the other phone, and then we'll swap the motherboards.
A few moments later.
The frame has come off on this one as well. I think that's going to be an issue going forward. Now we can open it up and there we go. We have both of these open. So the first order of business is to remove the displays from both of these devices. But before we swap the motherboards, I need to investigate what Apple means by removable back glass, because so far this opens the same way as the iPhone 14 Pro does. But does this open from the back? Let's find out. We're gonna hit this phone with an unscrew. Now it looks like we can remove this shield here. Now we can disconnect the battery. There's a little positive and negative terminal on the battery this year. That's pretty cool. Disconnect the screen. And there we go. That is our iPhone 15 Pro Max display. It looks like the proximity sensor on this and ambient light sensor are actually here, which we've never seen before in past generations. Quite a busy phone, but beautiful as always. Apple is great at making their internals very presentable. Anyway, let's take a look at this removable back glass. But before we do that, we gotta put some stickers on this board because we want to make sure everything is color coded so nothing is confusing. Now that we have everything labeled, and I mean everything, we want to take a look at that back glass. So this is going to be a little bit harder to do. We're just going to speed this up real quick, but we're going to have to pry off the back glass and see if it even comes off in the first place. And if it does, what secrets lie within? Now we can open it up. What the hell is this? This is so different from anything I'm used to. This is where the wireless charger would sit, and the wireless charger is over here. That's the coil. We have the rear microphone and flash right over here. We'll hit this phone with an unscrew. We'll disconnect the back glass. And there it is. Now it's time to quickly do the same thing with the other phone, and then we can go on ahead with the actual motherboard swap to find out what Apple made unrepairable this year. Okay, now that we have both phones fully open and fully labeled, it's time to do the board swap. So we'll start off with the red, and we're just gonna go through and disconnect literally everything we can see, just one by one. And it does look like there is a flex cable running from the motherboard to this area, probably for some sort of antenna. So we may have to remove the battery if we can't disconnect it without, well, removing the battery. We're just gonna remove the battery anyway, just to be safe. I'm just gonna apply some isopropyl alcohol. I'm not gonna bother with Apple's stupid pull tabs because I hate them. The nice thing about having a removable back glass with a big ass hole in the back of the phone is that I can actually just push on the battery. Look at how beautiful that is. Wow, I've never been happier. Now I can just pull it off. Okay, so that might not be a problem like I suspected, but really not an issue that I took off the battery. Let's continue on. We'll hit this motherboard with an unscrew. We can begin to wiggle the motherboard out. We don't want to force anything. It looks like it is coming out, and there are no flex cables attached, which is perfect. We'll put this aside and we'll do the exact same thing with the blue iPhone 15 Pro Max. Now that we have both of the motherboards removed, what we're going to be doing is basically just a simple swap. By doing this swap, we're basically simulating swapping every single component in the phone. Because Apple continues to serialize components, we'll be able to quickly find out what Apple did to make the device unrepairable this time, if they did anything at all. And there we go. We have the red motherboard with the blue phone internals, and we have the blue motherboard with the red phone internals. We'll boot both of these phones on. And we have the Apple logo on both. We have both of the phones booted on. As soon as we enter the passwords, we're probably going to get bombarded by the non-genuine messages. Let's see what shows up. Important camera message. Nice. Face ID issue detected. That's pretty standard because we swapped Face ID parts. We have the important battery message. Also pretty standard for Apple, unfortunately. Let's see what else. Important display message. That should be the last one. After extensive testing, I did find some stuff. First off, I'd like to say that these phones are running iOS 17 and all of my findings are based on both phones running iOS 17. There may be some things that I have missed in this test, to which I will keep you guys updated. Anyway, now that we got all of that out of the way, here's what I found. So all anti-repair measures Apple has taken prior are still there, including all the non-genuine messages, like the Face ID, the battery, the display, etc. The True Tone is still disabled. You'd have to reprogram it to get it onto a new display. Auto brightness also doesn't work. The flash issue we recently found with the iPhone 14 doesn't seem to be an issue on the iPhone 15 Pro Max. If we take a picture with the flash on, it saves to the camera roll as usual and there are no issues. I can say that I haven't seen any issues in swapping the back glass at all. The flash and wireless charger all seem to function as they should. Face ID only works with the original front camera as usual, but swapping other components doesn't seem